In 1953, they both took office. John Foster Dulles became Secretary of State. Allen Dulles became director of the CIA. It's the only time in history that siblings controlled the overt and the covert sides of American foreign policy. They came into office with two grudges already. They didn't like that guy in Iran, Mossadegh, and they didn't like that guy in Guatemala, Arbenz. They didn't even wait for Eisenhower to be inaugurated before they started their plot against Mossadegh. And within 8 months, not only was Mossadegh overthrown, but democracy in Iran was crushed forever, up to now. And then they immediately set off against Arbenz in Guatemala. And within about 9 months after that first coup, they had carried out the overthrow of the government of Guatemala, thereby plunging it into that terrible 35-year civil war in which something like 200,000 people were killed, more than were killed during that period in all the rest of Latin America combined. So having these two great successes under their belts, the Dulles brothers then went on to fight against other monsters. Immediately after the Arbenz and Mossadegh coups, they decided the next monster we're going to slay is going to be Ho Chi Minh. In 1954, John Foster Dulles was the chief of the American delegation to a conference in Geneva that was supposed to decide the future of Vietnam. The French had just lost their big battle at Dien Bien Phu and reluctantly decided to throw in the towel. They decided Ho Chi Minh is too powerful, he's too popular, we can't defeat him. And Winston Churchill also agreed. He had a great line, "The loss of the fortress must be faced." He was agreeing with the French. As soon as it became clear to John Foster Dulles at that conference that the result was going to be allowing Ho Chi Minh, who was a communist, to take over a piece of Indochina, he left. It's the only time in American history that a Secretary of State walked out of a major world conference in the middle. And he did this determined to resist what all the other powers wanted to do. He decided, we will fight in Vietnam. The Americans will start an operation. And as soon as I get back to Washington, I'm going to get Allen to start that operation. It means that if that one guy had not made that decision on that one day, we might have been able to avoid the entire American involvement in Vietnam. And you can hardly wrap your mind around how different America and the world might be under those circumstances.